Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Season 3 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, our one and only kitten, Firekit, aged up into a 1 moon old kitten, which means she opened up her eyes and we got to see her pelt in a little bit more detail, which was exciting, and then we got to see how close in personality, in the grand scheme of things, she is to her mother, Lupine Claw. She's got that fearlessness, that fierceness, the confidence, and a little bit of, a terrifying streak that her mother does. And I think that is so incredibly fascinating. And we also had Godzilla Star attempting to bring Melon, sorry, I went close enough, attempting to bring Melon back into the clan because he is adamant that Melon is going to father a litter. However, I think a lot of that is dependent on whether or not the females of the clan accept him or they reject him and kick him out like Lupine Claw did, so we're gonna have to see how that goes. Now guys, just a side note, but one of you lovelies found, I think, the very last video I did, like it rocked up on your feed, and you clicked on it because the title sounded interesting, like Mother Like Daughter, and then you found out that you had 3 seasons to watch, and Luminous Clan sounded like a really nice name, so you're planning on binge watching it, which I really appreciate. And I find it so intriguing when viewers find my very, I feel, obscure videos and let me know like how they ended up here, because I get curious. I feel like a lot of my content is very obscure because I don't spend a lot of time or any time promoting it anywhere, like on any of the social media platforms, because I just don't spend a lot of time on social media. So I'm essentially completely reliant on YouTube to send viewers my way and recommend these videos to you guys if it's something that is, intriguing and interesting. So every time you guys like one of my videos, it does help like a ton. It goes, I think, towards, the total likes of a playlist, and then that playlist is going to get recommended to more people. But I think this particular viewer just found like one video on their feed, which is even more interesting because I think a lot of people do come through the playlists. So just like a side note, I appreciate these comments that you guys give. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it a lot. But okay, let us dive into events and see what is happening over here. Let's go straight to the leader's den. We need to go ahead and roll the dice to see what Godzilla Star is going to do for this gathering. Okay, so we have a 8 on the D10. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Shade Clan. Yes, now every clan is hostile towards us. And thank goodness we have a 8 on the D8. So thankfully that is an appease. Excellent. He's going to try and appease Shade Clan. Okay, but I think we're at war with Shade Clan, aren't we? Yeah, well, this might be a good motion for us to end the war. Okay, let's go ahead, guys. Let's skip a moon. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. We have some exciting news. Despite the 2 clans' decisions of war, the cats long to have a shared peace. Does that mean we are at peace? I don't actually know. This is fascinating, though. This is fascinating. Okay, despite Godzilla Star's best efforts at the gathering, Shade Clan has no appetite for peace. Okay, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? So wait, the 2 clans want shared peace, and yet Shade Clan is unwilling to pursue peace with us, so the war is ongoing? I guess. Well, Melon was found and invited back into the clan, thank goodness, which means we can make another pairing, and I think Godzilla Star, after the failure of the gathering, is going to be very, very thrilled and excited that Melon is back with us. I don't know how Melon's going to feel, though, because Godzilla Star did let him get kicked out, and Melon knows that this is a precarious clan. He got kicked out once, he could get kicked out again. And then drama! Plum Raven asked Buttercup Dusk out after Buttercup Dusk talked with his mate. Plum Raven and Buttercup Dusk have become mates? Guys, if you don't know how wild this is, let me put it into perspective for you. This means that Buttercup Dusk has 2 mates right now. His first mate is Stonespeck, and Plum Raven is Stonespeck's mother. So he is literally mates with a mother and her daughter. Oh my goodness, Buttercup Dusk. Your children with Stonespeck are like the grandchildren of Plum Raven. What is going on, Buttercup Dusk? What is going? You are dating, or not dating, but you are mated to the grandmother of your children. Ah, these cats. For the longest time, Plumraven has been in love with Buttercup Dusk, and I think even more so because, they spent a long period of their lives working in politics together. But Buttercup Dusk has always been kind of strictly a one female male. Like, what am I saying? He's been like a one lady man. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. So he has stuck through with Stone Speck, even though Plumraven has been in love with him. And I thought it was going to stay that way. We also know that Cloudfur has a crush on Buttercup Dusk because she thinks that Buttercup Dusk is like the ideal tomcat. But then Plumraven made a move on him. And he talked apparently to Stone Speck about it, and Stone Speck didn't have a problem with it because, following that, he's now taken on 2 mates. This is wild. Who started this? I'm trying to remember, who the heck started this? Was it Bubbling Gale? I don't remember. Who was mated to Greyswipe? Because Greyswipe's mate, we need to go back and check. Whoever Greyswipe's mate was, he's the one who started this by having multiple mates. So yeah, we definitely need to check out. This is wild though. This is wild. Okay. It's always the older cats that give us drama, let me tell you. It's like, Plumraven recently turned into an elder. It's like when they become elders, I don't know where they get this, liquid bravery from, that they are then able to go ahead and do ridiculous things like this. But who am I to stop them? Buttercup Dusk has gotten heat exhaustion. Stone Speck's stomachache has left. Blissfur is free of fleas at last. So, my goodness. And I have not seen Buttercup Dusk sick, ever. I have not seen him sick ever because I'm looking at him all curled up and that looks very novel to me. It looks very new to me. Wow, this boy has never been sick or injured, or if he has, it hasn't been for that long because I have never seen him. I've never seen his coat like this when he's all curled up. Wow. But yeah, he has 2 mates, which is just wild. But I want to look at his family tree. Who were the troublemakers? Who are the flippin' troublemakers? Actually, the way to find them is not going to be through him. It's going to be through Stone Speck. Because I think... No, I'm looking at the... Hold on a second. I'm looking at the wrong cat. Who's Lupine Claw? Lupine Claw. There we go. Greyswipe. So she was mated to who? Was it to Slumberroach? It doesn't say here. But she was mated to maybe Slumberroach? Or was it... I can't tell. I think it was... She was mated to Slumberroach. And then Slumberroach took Bubbling Gale as a mate. And he kind of started this whole thing of having 2 mates at once. So, I think that's what it was. Yeah. Anyways, Buttercup Dusk, I don't even know what to say. To be honest with you. It's a little bit ridiculous. Okay, Medicine Cat Den. Let's see. I think he's just exhausted from dealing with 2 females. He's just exhausted with dealing with 2 mates who are also mother and daughter. It's a lot more hands-on than he probably expected. Okay, Stone Speck was given Mallow treatment for stomachache. The stomachache left. Lupine Claw was given oak leaves as treatment for recovering from birth. Blissfur was given plantain as treatment for fleas. Blissfur is free of fleas at last. And Canary Snap gathered oak leaves, goldenrod, and elder leaves this moon. Okay, wonderful. So let's go and see what we have going on for relationships. Okay, Plumraven and Lupine Claw have a fun patrol and plan to tell stories about it later to their clanmates. Plumraven is surprised when Blissfur compliments her. Plumraven, okay, and then this is when she went ahead and, asked out Buttercup Dusk. Buttercup Dusk learns about Godzilla Star's struggles and is surprised how well he carries himself. Buttercup Dusk asks Tornfern if his fur looks clean. Orchidshine vents about something trivial to Stonespeck. Stonespeck asks Tornfern to teach her how to sing so well. Cloudfur thinks about how lucky she is to have someone like Pepper as a friend. Interesting that she's referring to him as a friend when she has a crush on Buttercup Dusk. I wonder if that's going to give Cloudfur ideas. Like, if her sister is okay with their mother sharing her mate, then is she going to have a problem with her sister sharing her mate? I don't know. Cloudfur watches Blissfur wind up for a sneeze, but it never happens. Shadowswirl is wowed by how bravely Plumreven fought the other day. Shadowswirl clears up a misunderstanding with Sunchill. Lupineclaw and Thunderwind have to break up a fight between their clanmates. Lupineclaw claim to catch the prey that Daisyquake caught on their patrol. Orchidshine runs into Tornfern at the medicine den. They both have a tummy ache from the two halves of the same prey. Orchidshine noticed Daisyquake is doing his best today. Magpie Heart and Sunchill plan all their days together. Thunderwind won't tell Magpie Heart what he ate this morning. Pepper tries to do something like Melon, but just ends up getting embarrassed. Pepper has big plans for the day, but they're thwarted by Tornfern doing something more important. Godzilla Star warns Cloudfur about something on the ground so Cloudfur doesn't trip. Godzilla Star, Cloudfur, and Pepper had a nice talk while eating. Godzilla Star and Fire Kids argued about something trivial and neither of them apologized. Canary Snap spends some time sheltering with Magpie Heart during a storm. Canary Snap thinks Fire Kid is a very good listener. I'm glad that he's feeling very proud of his daughter. Melon and Shadowswirl realize they have more in common than previously thought. Melon is sharing a piece of fresh kill with Cloudfur. Blissfur chats with Melon about his day. Sunchill sighs the mere mention of Melon. Okay, so Sunchill is not happy that Melon's been brought back in. Sunchill gets a bunch of cats up for morning stretches and they don't like it. Blissfur snitches on Daisyquake for something minor. Thunderwind and Lupineclaw fill a puddle in the camp with sand together. Tornfern sees a pretty flower in Melon's nest. And Thunderwind shows Fire Kid that bugs aren't that scary. Okay, so it seems as though after Melon has come in, he is kind of getting along with, a whole bunch of the clan cats. But Sunchill is none too happy that Melon's back. And the funny thing is that a lot of the cats that Melon was getting along well with are females. Like Tornfur, and then we had Cloudfur, Shadowswirl. Like, he's been getting along well with the females, but one of the younger males, they don't like that he's back, which is very fascinating. But okay, let me cut the recording here and we'll catch up in the cat list. Okay, it is time for us to continue with the cat list. Now, obviously, if Godzilla Star has brought someone in, it also means he's going to be shaking things up in the political ranks. And Godzilla Star, just like last time, had the, idea to bring in Melon as, his muscle and his deputy. So that's exactly what's happened. And maybe that's why Sunchill and stuff, they weren't too happy with Melon, because he kind of knew what was going to happen, that a position of power was just going to be handed over to this outsider. So Godzilla Star has made Melon his deputy once more. And Plumraven has been demoted to Medicine Cat, and Canary Snap has been demoted to Mediator. So it's kind of interesting that he's putting precedent on Melon, or he's letting Melon be a deputy over Canary Snap. It's just fascinating to me. But then again, we did talk about how Melon is an unusually strong fighter, and Godzilla Star kind of values that in cats. So that's kind of what we have. Which means for the first time in his life, Buttercup Dusk has been kicked out of politics. I mean, Stonespeck and Pepper have experienced this ever since Godzilla Star came into power, but I think for Buttercup Dusk, he had some security where, he was in some shape or form always serving in politics, but this is the first time that he's been kicked out. And the other interesting thing now is that our upper ranks guys of the clan is almost entirely made up of outsiders. Plumraven is the only cat that is clan-born, or she's the only purely luminous cat that is up there helping to make all these important decisions about the clan, which is kind of wild. And I think exactly the kind of thing that a lot of the cats were afraid of when they started bringing in outsiders. I mean, they had to do it because their bloodlines were getting too closely related and they couldn't breed within themselves. So they were kind of forced to bring in outsiders, but I don't think they were happy about it. This is kind of the future they were fearing, and it is now the present they are living. We'll have to see if, this ends up being left in the past or if this is going to continue as is for the foreseeable future. But okay. That aside, we do have a match we need to make, don't we? Oh wait, before we do matches, I need to go ahead and take a look at loyalties, because that's kind of interesting. So our loyalties have actually changed, because now, guys, Shadow Swirl and Blissfer have both become loyal to Godzilla Star, and I'm wondering if that's because the two of them are kind of seeing that the reality is that the clan is kind of reliant on Godzilla Star for the continuity of the clan. Because yes, they might dislike Godzilla Star and they might dislike a lot of the stuff he's done as leader, the wars he's kind of pushed them into, these outsiders he's brought in, but I think especially as they're getting older, they're being forced to kind of realize that their clan would have died out if it wasn't for Godzilla Star and the new blood that he brought in, and the outsiders that he brought in to continue the clan. The clan would have died out. So it's funny to me then that if you look at it over here, a lot of the older cats are the ones who don't really support Godzilla Star as leader, but a lot of the younger cats do, because I think the younger cats, I suppose if you think about it, they haven't really grown up in an environment where it's just like the founding bloodlines, and a lot of these cats, they have a father that's an outsider. So for them, it's not like as jarring, it's not as big of a deal, and they actually feel as though because of these outsiders that came in, they were able to continue being luminous cats. Whereas some of the older cats we have, the clan-born ones, who are used to just breeding within, the family, so to speak, breeding within the clan, for them, it's almost unbelievable that this is the life that they're now living. But some of them, like Shadow Swirl, who is, mated to Godzilla Star, she is being brought into the fold. She's starting to realize that her children are going to have a better future because Godzilla Star is bringing all this new blood in. Because the clan does need a revival in a lot of ways. And part of that revival is getting Melon a mate. So Melon this time around has been brought into the clan, guys, to be paired up with Orchid Shine, our strict female, who it seems as though is not compatible with him either, but this is the match that Godzilla Star wants to make. Now, whether or not Melon stays is going to be, just like last time, dependent on Orchid Shine and how accepting she is of him. But I kind of found this interesting, and I'm wondering, really, how Orchid Shine is going to feel about this whole affair. Because, if you think about it, Orchid Shine, she is now being matched up with a male that her older sister rejected, Lupine Claw rejected. And this male is no longer in love with Lupine Claw, but at one point in time used to be in love with her. So I don't know how she's going to feel about all of this, and whether she, along with her strict personality, has very strict requirements of her potential mates. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. But Canary Snap has the responsibility of now mediating between the cat, who kind of, whose arrival had him demoted. He's gonna have to mediate between Melon and Orchid Shine, so let's see how this goes. Okay, so trust and respect has increased and dislike has decreased. However, from what I've seen, it looks as though both these cats are hesitant about this match, and they're a little bit resistant with this match. Orchid Shine is very dubious of Melon, because of the drama that happened with Melon beforehand. And Melon is very nervous, and I don't know if nervous is the right word, but he's very apprehensive of being matched to the sister of the female who kicked him out of the clan. Because he's thinking that they might kind of share a lot of the same opinions. So he's not really putting a lot of his effort into this either. So I really don't know how this is going to work out. But Godzilla Star is adamant that he wants Melon to be his deputy, you know? So we'll see how that goes. But let's go ahead and actually see what everyone is doing for the day. Godzilla Star purrs as a cool breeze hits him. Melon is feeling rather chipper today. Okay, so he's feeling kind of optimistic. I think he was feeling optimistic before he got paired up with Orchidshine. Now he's feeling very unsure. Plum Raven, especially seeing her attitude probably. Plum Raven is stressed about organizing patrols. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore because you haven't demoted to Medicine Cat. Canary Snap is looking forward to today. Okay, maybe he's actually looking forward to not having to go out and gather herbs. Because yes, in a way he was demoted, but also being a mediator is a much more relaxing job than actually going out and doing anything in patrols. So he might, especially because he's recently become a senior, he might actually look forward to this or enjoy this. Buttercup Dusk can't sleep because of the bugs and the heat. Peppa is feeling a bit anxious after having been around so many probably hostile cats at the last gathering. Stone Speck is thinking about a strange two-legged object she saw recently. Cloudfur tries to set a good example for younger cats. Shadow Swirl is making sure no work is being shirked. That is so interesting, especially with all the changes they're having to the roles. Yeah, she's probably right up there, looking over the clan leader's shoulder as his, loving mate. It's kind of surprised me, but I think Shadow Swirl, guys, she has actually fallen in love with Godzilla Star. And I think that was a huge part of why she decided to support, or why she decided to become a loyalist, is because after like so many moons of a stagnant relationship and kind of just staying with each other for the sake of staying with each other, she has slowly but surely actually fallen in love with him. And now she's seeing kind of the good in his work, so to speak. So when he wants to make Melon his deputy, she is accepting the vision that he must have, and she is trying to do her best to make sure that all the cats are doing their job properly, and that I think younger cats especially, she might not lord over the older cats per se, but I think she would look over the younger cats and make sure that they aren't causing trouble, that they are kind of, being compliant with what the cats in power require of them. So that's fascinating. Magpie Heart saw some wandering two legs today. Lupine Claw winked playfully at a clanmate from across the clearing. Orchidshine is sharpening her claws. If that doesn't tell us that she is dubious of Melon, I don't know what will. She was resistant during the mediation. She is now sharpening her claws. Her sister is winking at someone across the clearing. I imagine that maybe she's winking at Melon to terrorize him. And then Orchidshine is next to her sharpening her claws. Oh my goodness, these two sisters. Sunchill wants to critique Daisy Quake's fighting techniques. Blissfur is feeling perplexed. Torn Fern is lashing her tail furiously. Daisy Quake purrs as a cool breeze hits him, so Daisy Quake is actually chilling with Godzilla Star. That's adorable, some father-son bonding time. Thunderwind recounts the gathering for Canary Snap and his patients. Before Canary Snap was demoted, of course. Fire Kid is trying to force her way into being allowed to guard camp. Adorable. Very cute. So that is kind of all we have for the cat list. So let me cut the recording here and we'll continue in patrols. Okay, let us resume with our patrols. We currently have 176.8 prey. We need 50, so we don't have to worry about food. I'm just going to click on Plum Raven so that I don't forget she's the medicine cat. But guys, Since I mentioned that Shadow Swirl is in love with Godzilla Star, I was curious about whether he was as well. So I did go ahead and check, and Godzilla Star is actually in love with Shadow Swirl as well. So I kind of like the idea that while he's been, all these moons making trouble, and obviously initially he matched up with Shadow Swirl because he was kind of using it as a way to stay in power and stay in the clan, and I think he, like I said before, continued with this. Both of them did, out of practicality. Even when she got pregnant, they weren't in love. When they had their children, they weren't in love. And quite a while afterwards, they really weren't in love with one another. But I think in all this time that he has spent basically lording over the other cats and causing trouble, I think the one very unexpected part of clan life that he has begun to really like has been his mate Shadow Swirl. Like, he hasn't even realized it, but ever since, I think probably, the war starting and her kind of sticking by his side, without realizing it, he's kind of fallen in love with Shadow Swirl and has started to feel a sense of security with Shadow Swirl. So I thought that was very, very interesting and very sweet. But okay, Plum Raven, let's send you out. Once the melon starts to tower over the other plants, it's a good time to harvest it. Proceed. Plum Raven spots the melon plant by scrambling up onto a low rock and looking for their sapling-like, fat, towering stems starting to poke over all the other plants. She hops down, trots over, and harvests them and nearly squishes a thyme plant. Hey, she'll take that too. Melon and thyme were gathered. Excellent. And now, let's see, we're going to have 2 patrols of 6 and a patrol of 1. So first up, we have Torn Fern, Orchid Shrine, Melon. So these 2 are on a patrol together. Shadow Swirl, Pepper, and Daisy Quake. So let's see what they get up to. Oh, nice, hunting. As the patrol is checking the borderlines, they hear an odd sound coming from just beyond a rockfall. Proceed. Pepper drops down into a hunting crouch, certain that a mouse must be the source of the noise. He finds himself to be correct when he pounces across the rocks and returns to the patrol with a tasty morsel dangling from his jaws. A medium amount of prey is brought to camp. Excellent. Next up, we have Blissfur, Magpie Heart, Godzilla Star, Sunchill, Thunderwind, and Cloudfur. Godzilla Star suggests this might be a good chance for the cats to practice new fighting techniques. Proceed. Blissfur takes charge and coordinates exercises for the training patrol. Soon cats are practicing trips, twists, and tumbles. And then we have a lone patrol with Stone Speck. So let's send her out. Oh, another hunting trip. The patrol comes across a squirrel. It's engrossed in nibbling at a morsel beneath a tree. Proceed. Stealthily, Stone Speck stalks forward. The squirrel has no idea what's coming as she pounces on it and breaks its neck. Stone Speck sends a silent thanks to Star Clan for this prey. A medium amount of prey is brought to camp, and now we have 227.2, which is absolutely amazing. But that's all we have managed to get done today, and it was quite a lot if I think about it. A lot of discussion, I think. But okay guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.